For more than 100 days, congressional Democrats tried to block all funding for the Department of Homeland Security in a reprehensible attempt to throw open the borders of the United States of America. The Secure America Act provides $38 billion to ICE, $26 billion to Border Patrol to ensure these critical law enforcement agencies have the necessary resources to do their jobs, protecting our borders and getting criminal aliens out of the country. And starting on day one of my administration, we took the most dangerous, unsafe, violent, and open border people out of this country. We got them out.
Today's Democratic Party has sadly been infiltrated with an insurgent wing of radicals, Marxists. They are fundamentally opposed to the underlying mission of our border and immigration agencies.
Okay, that was President Trump on signing the $70 billion funding package to fund ICE for the rest of his term. Speaker Mike Johnson says today's Democrat Party is infiltrated with an insurgent wing of radicals who want to open the borders. The Democrats got nothing for their 2.5-month shutdown, just a lot of angry U.S. workers who do not get paid. Look who's here, Texas Congressman Chip Roy. Congressman, it's always great to see you. What are Democrats going to do next? We're also seeing reports Trump is going to get his border wall built by the end of 2027. So what do Democrats have now?
Well, they're always find something they're going to go attack the president on. I mean, right now we're very successful in getting funding for ICE and Border Patrol, which was necessary. We had to go through the back door to do it because Democrats wouldn't work with us on it because, they're frankly insane and are totally fine with our borders being wide open and taking away enforcement. The American people are seeing that. They're seeing who wants to actually protect the country, protect American citizens, and by the way, protect migrants from the dangers of what happens when you have open borders. We're trying to do things the right way through the rule of law. Now, what we need to do is continue to finish the job. There are a lot of things we have not done yet. We have not codified a lot of what President Trump is doing. President Trump is doing a great job securing the border, but we need to make sure that's permanent. We need to pass key elements in H.R. 2 that were important with respect to the parole abuses, with respect to asylum, with respect to visa overstays, catch and release, all the things that Biden and Mayorkas did that led to Mayorkas being impeached. And these are the things we need to finish so that we can send a message of what we want to do now and what we will do in the future to make sure we secure the border permanently.
Do Democrats understand the border was a crime scene? Do they understand 650,000 criminals poured into the U.S., including convicted murderers and terrorists? Do they understand that when you open the borders, it increases crime on Americans and increases human trafficking, drug trafficking, labor trafficking? Have they ever said anything about any of that?
You know, I've yet to have a single Democrat, whether it's in a committee, whether it's on the House floor, come over and say, I think we maybe got that a little bit wrong. You see a few people who are campaigning, who are suddenly switching their tune because they know they need to in order to try to win elections. But at the end of the day, right now, they're refusing to actually acknowledge that what they did led to the death of Jocelyn Mungray, led to the death of Laken Riley, led to the death of hundreds of thousands of people through fentanyl poisonings. And we're doing our job. That's what we're proud to do. The president's going to finish the job. Now, Congress needs to deliver legislation to make it permanent.
Congressman Roy, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being on the show. Now,
Thank you.
Please listen to this.